This is the Rebound Rundown. I'm your host, Paul Fritchner. Your home for college basketball in the Cincinnati area and across the country every Monday through Friday during the season. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Welcome into the Rebound Rundown. I'm Paul Fritchner. Make sure if you haven't already, you go down, you hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment, share it around to your friends and family. You can also subscribe to the Rebound Rundown on all major podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, the rest. It's a podcast that runs every Monday through Friday covering Southwest Ohio college basketball and beyond. Today, I have an interview with Miami RedHawks head coach Travis Steele. His RedHawks 11-0 on the season, one of just 7 undefeated teams remaining in the country. Joined by the head coach of the undefeated Miami RedHawks, Travis Steele. Travis, I know it's a day off today, so I appreciate you taking a few minutes with us here on the Rebound Rundown. And I want to start by highlighting what happened last night at the Nutter Center. Miami moves to 11-0, a great win on the road, your most difficult test, at least by KenPom to this point of the season. You passed the test, and really, I mean, you take the lead at 7-4, had the lead the rest of the game after the first couple minutes there. What was that game like for you, and how much are you enjoying this run that your RedHawks are on?
Yeah, it was a great win. Listen, we haven't beaten Wright State in it had been a long time. I know that, and they've had a really good program. Scott Nagy did a great job there, and Clint Sargent's continued to build on what they had built when he was an assistant there, and got a lot of respect for their program. So it was a really good win for us, and obviously, anytime you can get a win on the road, you take it. So we didn't put together 40 minutes, but I thought we had a little stretch there kind of late in the game where we kind of lulled on offense, missed a few layups and some free throws that we got to clean up. But I thought overall, man, I thought it was a pretty good performance. And our group's just unflappable, Paul. It's they don't get too high or too low. There's no panic in our group, even when we are going maybe through a couple-minute stretch where we're not playing as well. We have the ability to fix it. Which is, I think, a great sign that great teams have.
Brant Byers, 27 points last night. What was that game like for him? What were you seeing that allowed him to be so successful?
Yeah, we tried to get him going early. Obviously he's such a weapon from behind the 3-point line. He's an elite marksman. Although he's got to make his free throws, Paul. I mean, he shot better from 3 than he did his free throws last night. And
he could have had 30 plus if he'd have made some foul shots.
I told him, I said, man, come on. But he played great. He's gotten better off the bounce this year. I think he's been able to showcase his ability to finish and get to the rim, which has made him even more potent and harder to guard. And again, for us, it's different guys, different nights. I think we have probably 7 or 8 guys that have the ability to go get 18 to 22 points in a game. And that makes it hard to prepare for because, who do you take away? You take away Antoine, and then you're giving up more threes. You're taking away our front court guys, and you're giving more to a guy like Evan Apsaro or Ian Elmer, and it's kind of like pick your poison. I think that's what makes us really hard to prepare for.
Going into MAC play on Saturday, and now you turn the page to I know you have the one game on Monday out of conference, but still, for the most part, the rest of the season, just one non-conference game left. Have MAC play in front of you. You'll start with Ball State this weekend. Just talk to me about what this MAC schedule, and the outlook for your conference play is going to look like this year for Miami.
Yeah, I think first off, I always say to our guys at the beginning of MAC play, everybody's 0-0. Our non-conference I could give, it goes out the window, right? And because all the coaches across the league, whether you had a great non-conference or maybe not as good as you wanted, there breathes like new life into you, new hope. Hey, everybody's 0-0, right? Everybody's starting from scratch. And so we got to expect that we're going to get everybody's best shot, especially with the record that we put together here at non-conference. I think our league is the best it's been since I've been in here. I know that here at Miami. I think just the depth of it, whether it's Akron, whether it's Kent State, Buffalo, Bowling Green. I mean, Eastern Michigan won at Cincinnati. I know UMass beat Boston College and Florida State last week. It's a deep league. Ohio's good, way better than their record. They played a really hard schedule. I think our league is very good. It's going to be super competitive. And I think that's what the MAC fans love, right? It's kind of anybody, any night. I think there's a lot of parity and there's a lot of great coaches. So, we're going to have to bring our A game. And that's like went into Wright State last night. It was like they made it Greene County night or whatever it was. And it's like I told our guys beforehand, I said, that's a tip of the cap to you guys.
Yeah.
Because you guys have put us in a great position. We were undefeated going into that game, and I said everybody wants to come watch, right? So we got to expect that no matter where we play, and it'll be starting off obviously here at Ball State on Saturday. I expect a hostile environment.
Travis, you mentioned Ohio's schedule and playing a difficult schedule, and I know there have been, some people talking about Miami playing not the most difficult schedule so far in the non-conference, but I remember when you and I sat down back in whatever that was, June, in the offseason, and we were talking about you wanting to try and build the non-conference schedule and how difficult it is for teams like where you are in your position in that kind of like 100, 125 range, that it's hard to get some of those more difficult games. And look, like I've been saying here on the Rebound Rundown, you beat the teams that are in front of you, and you guys have handled yourselves so well throughout this non-conference. Do you have any response to that, or how you've seen some of that from what people have talked about?
Yeah, honestly, I don't really give it much credence. It's like Ken Palm had us losing the game last night to Wright State. Are you kidding me? Like I listen, we can only play those that are in front of us. It takes 2 to tango. And we were in a weird spot. No high major would buy us. None. 0. We called every team in the country. None. And then a lot of other really good mid-majors wouldn't play us. And it's like, man, so it's like, like we're in a tough position. We didn't finish our schedule until October. And I'll be honest, like some of our scheduling, like Maine was picked second in their league preseason. I think who else? There was another team that we're supposed to play against. They were supposed to be picked like number 2. Eastern Kentucky was picked 2 in their league. They haven't had a great start. It is what it is. You can't. I think like UNC Greensboro's won 20 games for 3 or 4 straight years. They've been super consistent. Again, we can only control what we can control, and we're going to play those that are in front of us, and it's about us getting better. And just continue to get better. So we're ready in March to win the MAC tournament up in Cleveland.
Sure. Obviously, you're very familiar with Akron, the connection there with Akron and Coach Gross, and I'm curious looking at that game, because I'm not sure you and I will sit down here for another interview before that Akron game coming up in a couple of weeks on January 3rd. That's a game that a lot of people, at the mid-major level, that is a massive game. One of the games of the year, really, for how well you all have started. And, of course, Akron, pretty good in the metrics as well. They're, I think, 66th on Ken Palm. So what are you looking forward to about being able to challenge Akron this year?
Yeah, I think, number one, man, they've been the gold standard kind of in our league for the last, 3 or 4 years, the success that they've had. We got to show that we can compete with those guys, right? We lost them obviously in the conference championship game last year, albeit I felt like we outplayed them, I'll be honest, for 39 minutes and 56 seconds. And unfortunately, we ended up on the wrong side of things late, but sometimes that's how it goes. And but they got a really good team. I know this. I've watched them live loosely a few times. I try to watch John's games when I can, and I want him to do well, cheer for him every game except for when he plays us, obviously. But it's going to be a battle. It'll be an absolute battle when we get to that point, I can tell you that. And they got a really good team. We got a really good team. I wish it was on national television, because it should be. I can't believe that our league didn't make sure that was going to happen by the timing of when this game was played. Just makes 0 sense to me, 0 feel. But it is what it is, So again, but it'll be a high level game, and obviously we got a lot of games in between then and now, or now and then, and we got to take care of business. But again, it'll be a great challenge for our guys.
Couple more questions here before I let you go. First, Evan Ipsaro has been very impressive to me. I broadcasted his games when he was at Covcath, in high school. I was impressed with him then. I'm impressed with him now, and the leadership he's taken on for this team. He can score. He's not the tallest guy, but man, does he play so well, and he handles himself efficiently on the court. How impressive has he been really taking control of this team this year?
Yeah, he's probably he's going to hate that I'm going to say this. He's no taller than 5'10". All right. We'll list him at 6 foot, and that's being very, very generous. But he is just the consummate point guard. Just trust. I mean, I implicitly trust him, man. He's going to make the right plays. He takes care of the ball. He makes everybody around him better. He plays with max effort. I mean, max effort. every single day in practice, game, shoot around, doesn't matter. He's the same guy every day. And he's just a winner, and guys like playing with him. And he's shown his ability to score this year, right? When at the collegiate level, he really had not done that consistently his first 2 years. And he's taken a massive jump. Give his position coach, Jonathan Holmes, a lot of credit as well. Our associate head coach does a great job with our guards. But Evan's put a lot of work in, and he's able to showcase that every game night. And he knows, again, that we really trust him as a staff, and we're going to let him go play.
And here we are. We've been recording for almost 10 minutes. We haven't even brought up Peter Suter's name yet, and he was picked as the MAC preseason player of the year. To have a player like him and all of the pieces that complement this roster, it's so impressive. And so how has Peter, in your eyes, played so far this year?
He's played well. I thought he got off to a little bit of a slow start for him, Paul. Just like he had a really choppy summer, just with injuries, nothing major, no surgeries. But when you don't play for a while, man, you lose your rhythm, right? And because basketball's a rhythm sport, and I think he's really started to find that rhythm, obviously, because we're going to need him to score. The great thing about Peter, and Evan's the same way, and a lot of our guys, you can't tell if Peter the difference in him as far as all he cares about is winning. He could care less whether he's scoring 30. There's going to be a game where he's going to score 30. There's going to be a game where he scores 8 points and has 6 rebounds and has 7 assists. He just does what the game tells him to do, and he honestly does not care. He just wants to win, and he's a two-way player. He is a tremendous defender. He makes everybody around him better on both ends of the floor, man. Just his IQ, his toughness, just permeates throughout the rest of our team, man. His leadership, man, he's a ultimate winner.
Travis, last question for you. Is there somebody that we haven't talked about that maybe hasn't jumped off the stat sheet yet, but that has impressed you, whether it's in practice or the little things in games that don't show up in a box score that you feel like could turn the page once conference play starts?
Yeah, I think Ian Elmer's going to make a huge jump for us, Paul. Listen, he was preseason player or all conference. He got off to a little bit of a slow start. But he's coming on in a big way. I see it in practice. His process has been tremendous, getting extra shots up, extra work, extra film. And I think it's starting to show. And the other guy that I would say is just, is Omar Atlas. And he's a guy for us. He was the lone transfer that we brought in the portal. He's just a game changer. He's a matchup problem at the 5. I mean, he shoots over 40 from 3, and he's skilled. He makes all the passes, and then he can also play interior, so he's a true matchup problem. And just, again, he could start. He comes off the bench. I mean, he's good enough to start. So is Luke Skowjak. We have a lot of good players, so which is a good problem to have. And again, like I said, the best thing about our group, Paul, they just care about winning. They keep winning at the forefront, and I think that's so hard to do in this landscape that we're in.
Head coach Travis Steele, your RedHawks are 11-0. Congratulations on the start, and best of luck with MAC play coming up this weekend.
Thanks, Paul.